And welcome to the Sports Show, the Father's Day edition. Eric Nelson in for Maxie. He's gone, rare week off. Patrick Royce, Lou Nanne, the iconic Sid Hartman. We're 1 week into the Byron Buxton era, Sid. Your thoughts?
Well, my column tomorrow is that as long as they play competitive baseball, Mr. Buxton will be here for the rest of the season. And so they have he struck out 36% of the time. He's been up to bat 25 times. He struck out 9 times. He got 2 singles, and he's got a triple. And he's going to continue not to get hits, in my opinion, because he's not ready to be up here. He is, as a good center fielder, he can run, but you got to get on base to run.
Yeah, you can't steal first base. Patrick, are they going to stick with him?
I'm not. Well, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, but his head is obviously full of crazy, chaotic thoughts. When you saw him take that fastball right down the pipe with 2 strikes today, what are you looking for, son? If you're going to take a fastball right in the middle of the plate, your head is all screwed up. He's obviously guessing at every pitch. I'd rather have him, be ready to hit the fastball, and if they throw him a curveball, he can't hit it anyway the way it looks. So he's overmatched at the plate. He's more overmatched than I thought he'd be.
But it takes time. Louis, do they have the right leadership with Paul Molitor and Torrey in that clubhouse to keep this kid's confidence up?
Well, the leadership is great. There's no doubt about that. You got 2 of the really, I'd say, best guys in baseball to be in the clubhouse. Molitor's always been a great leader, and so is Hunter. But leadership alone doesn't make you hit the ball, like what Patrick's talking about. So they need, he needs confidence, and maybe he needs more experience.
His team.
He's got to hit a pitch. He's got to get a hit. He's got to be facing a guy who throws him a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and he hits it. That's
3 hits in a week.
Right now, he's guessing on every pitch, and you can't play that way.
What this has taught them, they were very serious thinking of calling Sano up east. No Sano. No Sano will be coming up now this season as a result of what happened so far, unless a miracle happens. But this club, when they play good defense, they got a chance. The other night, they had a chance to win a game. It was tied. First of all, they get picked off of first base. Then Maurer gets called out at second base, and Dozier makes an error, and the game is over.
They played pretty good. They're pretty good in the field, Sid, right now. They haven't screwed up much in the field. The other night, Friday night, they played great in the field. They made 2-3 good catches in the outfield. They made 3-4 good plays in the infield. I don't think fielding's their problem. I think they got one problem: they can't hit.
Yeah, what's going to happen with the bats? I mean, outside of the Friday night game, even the victories over the Cardinals, they got 3 runs. What are they going to do?
When they play that good defense, and they do a pretty good job.
But they got to make sure they're not getting bad base running.
Yeah, but they're going to need to score more eventually.
Yeah.
I think they've had 13 games this month where they've scored 2 or less.
How much will Irvin Santana help? He's about 2 weeks away from joining the rotation. Who gets bumped out too?
Well, the pitching, you can't find fault with the pitching. So Santana comes up. One of the guys who's effective will have to go out. Maybe he won't be as good as the guys they got. And May's pitched great. Talk about getting the names of the pitching staff.
Trevor May, Tommy Malone, he's pitched well.
Hughes finally pitched a good game.
Maybe you could trade one. Maybe you could trade one for a hitter.
But Louis, they've invested in Irvin Santana. They signed him as a free agent, buku bucks. I mean, they want this guy to succeed.
There's no question he's going to get the opportunity to.
Right.
Well, they were picking him for number 1, so they're going to give him a chance. There's no doubt about that.
They've already announced he's going to pitch July 5th. Unless something would happen in Rochester. I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy Malone becomes a left-hander in the bullpen and Aaron Thompson takes a hike. He hasn't gotten anybody out in a month, so something like that.
The bullpen, that Dunsing, is that his name?
Dunsing.
Boy, he's terrible.
His ERA is still hanging around 9, but I don't know. I think just the only big problem they got is hitting the ball. They can't score.
The Cardinals were here for 2 games. Huge crowds. Cubs drew over 40,000 a couple days. What's up with this Cardinals cyber hacking scandal with the Houston Astros? How serious is that?
How serious is what?
The FBI is investigating the Cardinals.
For
I don't think there's anything.
Nothing?
To
FBI?
Well, I'll say one thing. If I was the Cardinals, I'd be investigating Houston too, because they have done one of the greatest jobs of anybody signing players. Next to Kansas City, they got all these young kids up in their first place.
But Patrick, you've been around baseball. This is a pristine organization, squeaky clean image, 11 World Series titles, second to the Yankees.
Well,
they don't want
every
this.
team in baseball is now hiring stat freak, internet, you know, people. The Houston has a whole floor of these guys. Well, if you're going to hire those guys, they're going to go looking. They're going to go exploring, and the Cardinals hated this Lunau guy. A lot of the underlings hated him when he left. They didn't like him. I guess he was a kind of a jackass. And then he left, and they thought he was stealing their stuff. So somebody went in and looked. So they're going to end up getting fined $1 million and lose some draft choices. I would think.
They're definitely going to lose draft choices.
But this, to me, is way worse than deflating footballs or Spygate. This
It
is
is.
serious stuff.
That's why they'll
if true.
That's why they're going to lose draft choices besides a huge fine. There's no doubt about that.
If you have want to check 2 clubs that have done a fantastic job of drafting people, Kansas City's one and Houston's the other one. Nobody's close to them.
Cubs have done pretty well.
Yeah.
Cubs have done good trading for kids too. Cubs got 2 of them hurt, and they still got 4 or 5 of them on the field. It's quite a trend though. It's with the calling up the kids. You know,
all sports.
Baseball, yeah.
All sports.
Yeah. I mean, hockey was kind of ahead of the curve on that, but a lot of teams are doing that.
But if you really look at the prime time for athletes in hockey, people always think it's 29 to 32. It's more 24 to 27. And it's younger, so I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing is in baseball.
And that's probably why the Chicago Blackhawks have 3 cups in 6 years. We'll get more into that coming up. Sports Show after this.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
A pitcher who can paint the corners is known as a Rembrandt. At GMC, we get why people love that kind of precision. After all, in everything we build, that's exactly what we deliver. This is precision. This is GMC. Now get over $10,000 total value on specially equipped Sierra SLE models in stock the longest. Welcome to the show.
Carton staplers, now. Bin liners, now. Casters, now. Switches, cables, flashlights, now. Now. Stretch wrap, valves, boots, now. Pan truck, LED lights, wet dry vac, now. Circuit breakers, fall protection harnesses, torque wrench, fire extinguisher, rocker switches, extension cord, mixing propellers, bleeded air filters, walkie-talkies. Now. What we need when we need it. Granger, get it? Got it? Good.
The lightest or nothing. The smartest or nothing. The quietest or nothing. The sleekest, sexiest, baddest, safest, tightest, harshest or nothing. At Mercedes-Benz, we do things one way or we don't do them at all. The 2015 C-Class. The best or nothing. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second to none happy hour, and great outdoor dining, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington, locally owned, nationally known, Hoyt's.
Locally owned, nationally known, J.D. Hoyt Supper Club. Chops, steaks, seafood. It's on Washington Avenue in Minneapolis, near all the great stuff in the Warehouse District. Sports show continues. The Timberwolves have been on the clock since mid-May. They won that lottery. That's what they wanted. Everybody's saying they need the big guy, Okafor Towns. Kind of looks like maybe D'Angelo Russell could be seriously in the mix. Is he?
I'd be shocked if he didn't take the guy from Kentucky.
Towns.
I talked to him today, and boy, unless he's trying to fool somebody, he's in love with this guy. I see ESPN is saying that the staff wants to take the Duke guy, and he wants to take the Kentucky guy.
He's going to take Towns. I don't think there's any question about that. Towns will be here. But the real question, Suhan had a good column today, is D'Angelo Russell, down the line, is he really the best player? I watched Jerry West on a television program about 2 weeks ago, and he's a guy that I think is as good a basketball man as there is. And he thinks Russell's going to be the best player in the draft, although he says the Timberwolves and Lakers are going to have to take big guys each.
But with Golden State just winning the title, with a point guard-driven team, MVP Steph Curry, don't you have to seriously look at Russell? Do you need a point guard now more than you need a big guy in today's NBA, Patrick?
Well, guards win games, and I think those two guys could play together, Rubio and him, but I don't know. I don't think they have the guts to do it. But there's also talk that Okafor might end up going third, that Russell might go a second.
That's what I was thinking. Kupchak is really throwing a curve, but he wants Russell real bad, so that would not surprise me.
Let me tell you, he's in love with that Ohio State guy, too. He was there the night he scored 25 points in the first half. I wouldn't be shocked.
Sid, he's not going to trade for Russell. He's not going to trade. He's not going to get Towns and Russell. It ain't happening, Sid. Don't tell us that again, please.
No, not in a trade.
Well, would he take Russell overall number one?
What if you gave up Rubio and got Russell and somebody else back?
Well, nobody's gonna take Rubio for Russell.
You're not gonna get
Rubio's stock isn't that high.
Yeah, nobody's gonna give you the third pick overall for Rubio.
That would be like trading. That would be like trading Sidney Crosby for Mikko Koivu. One guy scores goals and the other doesn't.
I just think they in 09 they had a chance for Steph Curry and they took Johnny Flynn, Ty Lawson, and Ricky Rubio, and they've regretted it ever since. If they think he's the real deal, Louis, the best player out there, I don't know how you ignore it.
Well, they ignore it because the way they're playing, they think they need a big man, and Towns is a great player. And so I know it's going to be a tough pick. We went through it. Yeah.
Isn't it nice that they're finally in this situation? They get their choice, though, after 100 years of ineptitude.
Yeah, they're going to get a good player regardless who they pick.
Yeah,
but is it going to be really, down the line, is Russell going to really be that much better?
I do think Russell's the one is the certainty. He's the guy that will be a player.
That's my point.
You got to give him credit. Flip, he drafted Muhammad, who's going to be a great player.
Said
he's not going to be a great player.
If he stays healthy.
And the other guy, the other guy's pretty good too. Who's the other?
Andrew Wiggins.
Jang.
That he got with Muhammad.
Georgie Jang.
Or Shabazz, or the dunker.
And this year,
Levine.
Georgie Jang. He's
Jang.
talking about
The second round.
I thought UCLA.
Yeah.
Zhang.
Okay.
Pardon me?
Yeah, we
Gorgie
got it.
Zhang.
Yeah, he got those two guys, and then last year he made the trade and got Wiggins. So.
Well, I think they'll have a pretty good team next year. I really,
They will. They'll be better.
If they can keep people healthy, I think they'll be pretty good.
Well, I would look at the Warriors and be optimistic. 3 years ago, this was a very bad basketball team. They've drafted well, developed well. They've got some character guys, good coaching. You can do it, right, Louis? I mean,
Plus, we got a new facility.
Right.
We
The
got a
Mayo
new
Center.
facility to practice in. That's very
In
important.
basketball, you can do it quicker.
Yes.
You don't need as many players.
So there you go. It's all out there for Flip and Milt Newton. So who are they going to take then? Quickly. Under a minute to go in this segment. Who are they taking?
Who are they taking?
You're the former GM.
They're taking the guy from Kentucky.
Towns.
You're
Towns.
hockey GM Towns?
Oh, I think they're taking Towns, but I might take the guard.
I'll take Russell.
Yeah, I would take Russell, but
Yeah, I'm
gonna
taking
take
Russell.
Towns.
Knowing their history, I'm
Guards
taking
win
any
games
chances.
in basketball.
Right.
It's always been thus.
Steph Curry.
That's Sid.
He mentioned Jerry West. He was a pretty good guard as a player. All right, we got to get into the NHL draft. That's coming up on the weekend. The Vikings, and, of course, Sid on Sid. All that coming up on the Sports Show.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Join us for the 7th annual Challenge for Children's Paintball Big Game on Sunday, July 19th. Challenge for Children's is the largest third-party fundraiser for the Children's Hospitals and Clinics of Minnesota. Not only a great day to play paintball, but also a great day for family fun. For more information and to register to play, visit challengeforchildrens.com. You must be 12 years or older to play, but there will be games and fun for all ages at the event. Register at challengeforchildrens.com.
Thanks for watching CW-23.
Hi, I'm John Hines. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World is the place you should come for car washes, oil changes, tires. As a matter of fact, anything and everything under the hood of your car. You're in great hands at Bobby and Steve's Auto World, where serving people is the most important part of their business.
Schedule an appointment online for your spring car care special. Get an oil change, car wash, tire rotation, and $5 on your World Rewards card for only $39.95. While there, visit our convenience store or enjoy something from our Chevy grill.
Welcome back, Sports Show. We've gotten into the Wolves draft. The NBA draft is Thursday night from Brooklyn. NHL draft this weekend from suburban Miami. All right, the Wild, they were another team that went second round of the playoffs, got bounced out by Chicago. What are their needs?
They need a goaltender. Who will give this guy more money? What's his name?
Dubnyk.
Devin Dubnyk.
Well, they have to worry about San Jose and Buffalo. But I can't believe those guys would give more money than the Wild, and I think they should all be around the same thing. And I personally think if they go more than $3 million, I would be giving them $2.5 million. I'm not.
It's not your money,
I know.
Louis.
I can't help it. 40 games is not enough for me. Okay. 40 games is not enough for me.
I get the small sample size.
Because it's not going to be a one-year contract. It's going to be 3 or 4 year contract.
The NHL, you don't draft need. You don't draft need.
Right.
And it's like baseball. You don't draft need in those drafts. You're drafting the future.
Reason why is
you're drafting the future.
Because they're not going to come right in and play.
Unless you're an 18-year-old.
Yeah, unless you got
Connor McDavid.
Exactly.
But does Dubnyk have the leverage here? Because a year ago, we were talking about who's going to be their big picture goalie. They went with Kemper early. That didn't work out. Harding had his issues. Dubnyk has some leverage here, I would think.
Yeah, but it all depends who you're talking to. If it was his agent, he's got a lot of leverage. If it's the Wild, he's got some leverage. And it's me, he's got no leverage. Because there are other goaltenders out there. Niemi's going to be available. There's going to be probably Lerner in Ottawa is going to be available. Talbot in New York's going to be available.
You got as much leverage as the team wants to give you,
That's
right?
it. That's it. If I'm a general manager and I'm looking at 5 years and then I'm looking at 40 games and I'm looking at the playoffs, I got to be really careful about giving $4 or $5 million for 4 years or 5 years. I'd be giving in the $2.5 million to $3 million range for 3 years.
Are there some good free agent goaltenders available?
You know, who knows how good they're going to be, but who knew Dubnyk was going to play as good as he played? But that was for 40 games.
It'd be nice to get a 20-year-old that can really play and have him for about 12 years.
Well, they're hoping that'll be Kemper. That his mindset comes around to where he can be number one because he does have the physical skills.
We've seen the Vikings draft defensive backs to counter the quarterbacks in the NFC North. Do the Wild draft to counter Chicago? 3 cups, 6 years, still a team in its prime. Do you worry about that? They're in the same division.
No, because by the time that kid's going to be able to play, you're talking 3 or 4 years. The guys in Chicago might be gone by then, you know, and they're older. So you can't. You got to just, you know, draft the best player you can get, and just keep getting the best players. Then you become a better team.
Plus, you can't just say, I'm going to get somebody as good as Taser Kane.
Yeah.
You know,
well, they don't fall off out of the sky. But
well, you're not going to get them at 20 unless a real mistake happens.
According to a story I read in USA Today, the Blackhawks don't have any salary cap problems. They got all the good players coming back, and
well, they don't have any salary cap problems with their core players. They got salary cap problems with some of the others. That's why you're going to see Patrick Sharp. If they can trade him, he'll be gone because he's making Patrick Sharp. He makes about $5 million, and there's you know, you're probably going to see Oduya unless he signs a reasonable contract. He could be gone. So that's two key players.
Payne, or they won't trade the other kid that played.
Well, of course not. Why would they?
No, they got to get Saad signed.
Trade him. They'll finish there.
They got to get Saad.
And they got to get Saad and Teravainen, and our 2 young kids coming up that are.
They got to get
the adjective this week is dynasty in connection with the Blackhawks. Do they have one? 3 cups, 6 years in the salary cap era? I say yes.
Yeah, I do too. In this era.
Yeah.
I mean, if you win 3 cups in 6 years, it's unheard of until you go back to Detroit, and that was with Yzerman's era there, 97, 98, and everybody still talks about their teams, and they did it in, you know, in a salary cap area too. But I think this one is really good.
Aren't the Blackhawks pretty young?
Yeah, that's why.
20 playoff series in 6 years.
They got that in their favor.
Patrick, how come Joel Quenneville's not being called one of the greatest NHL coaches ever?
I have no idea. I wouldn't know how to X and O a
coach. I got a better question for you. Will Joel Quenneville still coach for $2.7 million?
Yeah.
What's he worth?
Babcock got 6.5 or so. He got a $50 million contract for 8 years.
And he's
won
more than Babcock.
Yeah. So what's he worth?
What kind of money would a team like the Blackhawks make this year?
This year, they're finally going to make money. If you'd have seen the article about 3 weeks ago in the paper, Rocky Wirtz was saying how they didn't make money for a long 5 years. This year, they'll make a lot of money.
How could they not make money?
They
paid for that building. Jerry Reinsdorf told me in 5 years they paid for that building. They get about $1 jillion for their suites.
They sold it out. Before the building was open, they sold all the suites for 5 years, the Bulls and the Hawks. So the building was paid for.
Edmonton's on the clock in the NHL. Who's this hotshot phenom they're going to draft?
And Connor McDavid is a great player. He's got an outstanding track record. In fact, he's matched all of the records, like of Crosby and guys like that played junior. He's really a terrific centerman that's going to he should be the best player in Edmonton for a long time. Yeah, he'll play right away. Oh, yeah.
NHL couldn't be thrilled that Edmonton won their lottery. I'm sure they would have liked Connor McDavid in L.A., New York, or Chicago or somewhere. Or even Toronto.
Not only that, they've been there 4 times now.
Yeah.
How many times you got to keep giving it to them?
Toronto is screwed up.
Let me ask you.
The organization,
what
they don't
happens,
know what they're doing.
In your draft room, when you were drafting, you made the final decision.
Yeah, but what I did is I had a list. I don't know how these guys take so much time on the clock. The scouts work, for days on end, and they come back. We discuss all the players, and they give me the list at the end, and I just go bing, bing, bing. Whoever was there, that's what we took. If he was our best player, I'm going to take him.
All right, there you go.
You went in with a list.
Yeah.
Save the thought, Sid. We're coming
That's
back.
what the Vikings do.
Sports Show.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to TicketKingOnline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
You're watching CW-23.
Join us for the 7th annual Challenge for Children's Paintball Big Game on Sunday, July 19th. Challenge for Children's is the largest third-party fundraiser for the children's hospitals and clinics of Minnesota. Not only a great day to play paintball, but also a great day for family fun. For more information and to register to play, visit challengeforchildrens.com. You must be 12 years or older to play, but there will be games and fun for all ages at the event. Register at challengeforchildrens.com.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring. Just like the sports show with Sidney Hartman. Minnesota Vikings, they've had a bevy of OTAs and mini camps. They'll shut it down until training camp next month. Sounds like everything's well out there at Winter Park.
Well, I'm sold on this coach. I really think he is as good a coach as they've had. I think you have to go back to Grant. This guy, he can be tough. He can be the opposite. He's coached in every position. There's no doubt he's got a defensive coordinator, but that defensive coordinator may as well go home because he's calling all the defensive shots. And they had a pretty good draft, and if they stay healthy, I think they can be pretty good.
Well, they've loaded up on defensive players, no doubt. Mike Zimmer, do you think he's the best guy since Bud Grant? I think that's a little too soon to say that.
You know, Denny
won a lot of
games. Denny, for all the romance he and I had together, he was, what, playoffs 8 times in 10 years?
101 wins.
Like that. So, yeah. I don't know. I like the guy personally. I don't know enough about how he runs his football team to have a real strong opinion. So.
I think they got a great organization right now. Spielman, Zimmer, the whole deal, Turner, and they got some good young players. I'm excited about them.
Do you feel like Adrian Peterson now, a couple weeks into his return, that it's back to normal?
Yeah, I do. I think that as far as they're concerned, it's back to normal. You're always going to have the surrounding stuff around you, but it might be, more abstract than we think.
The only thing that makes me nervous is I'm reading that Teddy Bridgewater's hanging out with Mike Wallace.
Oh,
yeah. Gonna get in sync for that deep passing game, that home run ball. Sid on Sid. Hey, we don't have a lot of time. Sid on Sid. What do you want to tell us about?
I think the Vikings will have the best team they've had since 2009.
Put them back in the Super Bowl. It's been a long time. Sports Show, thanks for joining us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.